Hey everybody, and welcome to The Void, a show dedicated to filling the void between being an employee and becoming self-employed. Most people refer to starting their own company as taking the leap, as if they're blindly jumping off a cliff and into the unknown. This show is here to help you understand that it doesn't have to be that way. As always, if you like what you're hearing on the show, please do us a favor and help share The Void with somebody else who might be wanting to start their own company. We saw an opportunity to help others understand that self-employment is well within your reach, and just as our businesses have grown organically and by word of mouth, we want this show to grow the same way. So if you see somebody asking questions about starting their own service-based business, please do us a favor and send them a link to the show. I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and with me as always is David Hilton.
Mitch.
Apparently I'm out of breath. What?
What is the matter with you?
Apparently I'm out of breath. I don't know. I needed to breathe.
Dude, you got to hit that cardio.
Yeah, well.
Can I ask you a question?
It depends.
Do my fingers smell funny?
I'm not.
Smell
Dude,
these.
nope.
No?
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
That smells familiar, but no.
I feel like you guys practicing cardio would be like Dave with the shotgun and be like, Mitch, run as far as you can. I'm going to shoot it for 10 seconds.
Dance, partner.
Dance, boy. Dance, boy. What's going on this
How's
week?
your week going?
You going to ask me the same question I'm going to ask you?
Yeah.
You know, so far it's been okay.
So I
It's
spent
been
it.
all right. I was busy. I've been busy for only being Tuesday.
Yeah.
Today wasn't so bad. I
Well.
took it pretty easy.
Well, that's good. It's getting ready to get cold.
Thank
Not cold,
God.
but
You know what?
it's
I'm not-
getting ready to get not hot.
Like, I'm not,
cold.
like, I love summer, and I like when it's warm. I like when it's, like, 50 in the morning, and then, like, 75,
Yeah.
80.
I like
that's
windows
perfect,
down
right?
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Indian summer right now.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like, it's going to go from blazing fucking hot.
Yeah.
And then
Second
on
summer.
Saturday, it's going to be, like, 60 is going to be the high. It's like,
Yeah.
man, what?
I told myself that I would just love it if it was like the high would be like 75, but then it's like if you get so used to it, people are gonna be like, oh, it's 65 degrees, the excessive heat warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It never changes.
Like, I'm ready for a little cool weather, right?
Me
like,
too.
I want to go hunting.
Yeah. Need
Like-
some crisp weather for that.
You got to have something. Like,
Yep.
if I go out right now, I'm picking ticks off my balls for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. It's too much. It's
They
too
have
hot.
lives for that.
It's too hot.
I think Brad Paisley even wrote a song about it.
I think he's wanting to pick them off of her. Look at her naked.
I'd like to check you for ticks.
Yeah, my wife's like, no thanks, I'm good. Like, I don't know.
No.
I'm good. No thanks.
She does stitch up your
Your leg wound.
yeah, your leg wound.
She I can't believe that she hasn't left me. If you want to know the truth.
Well, I know.
Like, I get into a lot of
he
shit.
comes
I
home
think-
after work and is like, you're still here?
She's here.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
You survived another day. Look at me roll.
Make me a sandwich.
You're like a game show where it's like, let's see if Dave can make it another week with keeping his wife.
Right.
So far, I mean,
You've made it like 18 years. I think you're good.
20 and being 19 and a
There you
half
go.
right now.
All right.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about sports
give me a
betting.
Topic. Give me a topic.
Let's talk sports betting for a minute.
I like sports betting.
So there's some interesting things happening this year that haven't happened.
Play pretty well in sports betting. I do okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about covering spreads?
I usually bet money line.
So week 2, Chargers are down by 10.
Okay.
They close the game out by kicking a meaningless field goal.
To cover the spread or not cover the spread? To cover the spread.
Spread was 7.5.
They were down how
Final
many?
score 30-23.
Oh. 30-23, they still didn't cover the spread. If it's 7.5.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Meaningless field goal. Should have. They were on like the 18-yard line or something. Like, didn't even try for a touchdown.
That's weird.
Wouldn't have won the field goal's not going to win you the game. Touchdown, onside kick, kickoff. Like,
So
you know what I mean?
You're saying they kicked that to not cover the spread.
It comes off like it was a planned move, specifically based on the proximity to the spread, right? So then, what happens Sunday night?
Patrick Mahomes slides at the
Patrick
goal line.
Mahomes slides at the end, right? And initially I'm thinking that's a heads-up football play because you got the first down. You didn't score a touchdown and leave them room to come back. Now, granted,
Yeah, you can run out the clock. That's the right move there.
Right.
That is the right move there.
We were up by 3.
Do you realize that this is not the first time in the last 3 years that that's happened during a Chiefs game?
I understand, but these are happening right at the spread.
The last one was too for the Chiefs.
Right. So
It was I can't remember the running back. Laid down at the 1.
right.
It was the Super Bowl.
That was the Super Bowl. That's different.
Is it?
I don't know.
The spread still got...
The spread's still there, right?
Yeah.
So, like, but here's the thing with the Mahomes. We were up by 3, right? So, let's say it was a tie game. And we did not want to give them room to come back and kick a field goal to win, right? Like, we were up by 3. We could have scored, and then that would have put us up by 9. Let's assume we make the extra point. That puts us up by 10. They have, like, less than a minute to get 10 points. Like...
So there have been cases in the NFL within 1 minute, a team has gone down, kicked a field goal, onside, got the ball, and then made a touchdown.
I know.
So what's the play there?
It's a heads.
What is the play? The play is to
Mahomes
run the
did the
clock
right
out.
thing. It's a heads-up football move. It's just it seems to be a lot of coincidence
You're
here
reaching.
lately.
You're reaching.
Well,
I'm saying you're reaching. I mean, I get it.
since we're reaching,
You're reaching.
you think Taylor Swift's being paid to attend games?
Yes, damn right she is.
You think so?
Yes, I do. I think... I'm gonna fuck up Austin's whole game. He's gonna mess his whole shit up. He'll look Mitch right in the eye. I think 100% that the PR from the NFL got with the PR from Taylor Swift's team, and they were like, okay, you have to help us grow our brand. Like, you need to go to 6 games. You need to show up. The Swifties are going to watch games. The Swifties are going to get tickets, and you're going to help us grow our brand with the libtards. Like, that's what we need. And they're paying her to do it. I guarantee it. I'm not saying that she's not dating Travis Kelce for real. Like, that could be 100% a possibility.
Right.
But they were probably like, look, you can't go to games. It's going to be insane. And then the NFL hears about what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she's at games. She's making games.
Right.
What's weird, though, is, like even if she's making the games, like, her tour's about to start back up. So can't make that many games.
Yeah.
Until the tour's over. So,
Right. So,
like, I believe that conspiracy more than the betting conspiracy. Like,
possibly.
It's not, you know, when the NBA had their big knockout, drag out over calls being made late in the game, like, it all went to court because they were shaving points. They were like, look, dude, it's easy to shave 5 points.
Right.
In the NFL, it's even easier
oh gosh,
to shave 10 points. It's over the course of a game, like a 70-yard bomb being brought back by one holding call.
Yeah.
Like, you can shave some serious points if you need to.
Well,
so
and
I've always kind of thought that was a conspiracy. Like, I always thought it would be easy to fix NFL games. And then because of those situations, right? But then I also got to thinking about it. Like, you would have to be able to manipulate 10 players on every team.
Yeah.
Or both teams to do it. So I kind of gave up that whole thought.
Wouldn't it be wild if the NFL was just a different version of professional wrestling? And it, like, got discovered that players were handed scripts before the game, and I mean, you still have to have the amazing talent to throw a 70-yard bomb and catch it and everything else. But, like,
we need you to tackle a photographer.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to script it that exactly, but to be able to say, like
if it ever came out that happened,
oh boy,
dude, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it'd be wild.
I mean, like, I watch a lot of baseball now.
Yeah.
Like, and I love baseball. Baseball would be huge again.
Oh, it would.
No one would be watching the NFL anymore. Like, oh, we got to watch a real sport again.
Right.
It's
right.
Like that'd be the only one. Like that in soccer, and it's just
so.
I don't. Oh God! I mean, what would I'd be so mad, dude. I'd be so fucking mad.
I've heard people talking about Taylor Swift's being paid to attend the games, right? And I don't know if she is or not. I'd like to think it's genuine, but you just never know, right?
I'd also like to be standing there between her and Blake Lively.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what brought this up. So,
dude,
here they are in New York, and I'm like, God. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, like, it's just weird that they're all together. Like, I understand celebrities attend games and all of that stuff, but they're all sitting together. Like, it's just, I wonder what the connection is there, right?
Well, I think Blake Lively is friends with Taylor Swift. And Blake Lively is married to Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
And Ryan Reynolds is friends with Hugh Jackman.
And right.
They've done like 4 movies together. So
Right.
it's not like it's a stretch.
It's not a far stretch. You're
They're
right.
doing a movie together right now, Deadpool 3.
Are they doing Deadpool 3?
Yeah, they're doing Deadpool 3. They're,
So-
they're going to bring back Wolverine, like the classic, like yellow suit Wolverine. That's an
Yeah.
injecture.
I love it.
So-
I love it. I love Deadpool.
So
You shouldn't be
marketing,
watching Deadpool, by the way.
I haven't
marketing.
watched it in forever.
It's inappropriate for young children.
I watched that like in my high school days.
Oh, it's so good though.
So along the lines of Taylor Swift being paid to attend games, I heard something, and I haven't gotten to verify a lot of this, but I heard something that was basically something to the effect of Ryan Reynolds' marketing agency, which is Maximum Effort, is now the marketing agency. He's lost track of time.
It's not even right, is it? Hour behind.
Yeah.
I was getting him to look at the board to see,
Yeah.
or the video camera to see how long.
How long have we been recording?
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Not been. I'm just kidding.
Lord help us.
12:51.
Oh
Well,
my
okay.
God.
So
I thought
love
about
you.
pulling that joke. at the
Dave
very end
forgot
of the
to start his
podcast.
stopwatch again.
Austin, I love you, but dude, come on, bro.
There's some podcasts I'm like, I want to do that joke so bad to be like, dude, I think I lost.
Yeah.
At the very
shit.
end. I don't want to jinx myself though.
No, you don't.
so-
Go ahead, Mitch. I'm sorry for the interruption.
That's all right.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
buddy.
Start your stopwatch next time.
I'm sorry. Austin,
So-
shut up.
Sorry, buddy.
The
Sorry.
Ryan Reynolds owns a marketing agency called Maximum Effort. That marketing agency is now responsible for marketing the NFL on one TV platform. I can't remember which one, like Tubi or something. I don't know. I think maybe it's a streaming platform. I'm not sure. Right. I haven't had a chance to look into this super far, but I've heard that the NFL probably can't afford Taylor Swift to come to the games. Right. Maybe they can. I don't know.
Look,
But
the
because-
NFL can afford whatever they want.
I don't know. I know. But because Ryan Reynolds married to Blake Lively's friend with T Swift, maybe T Swift is there on behalf of maybe Reynolds is paying her to be there because it's going to help. He's going to be able to go with his marketing agency and say, look at this increased viewership we have now. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get it. There's no way that Ryan Reynolds has enough money to pay her and the NFL doesn't.
Well,
The NFL
if
is the
you're-
number one business in America, I think.
But here's the thing. I'd probably agree with you, right? By the time you figure out all the ads and everything to go along with it and everything
they're
else.
making so much.
But here's the thing. Taylor Swift might turn down every offer possible from the NFL to come to the games.
Yeah, but she
But
wants to help out her buddies.
If her friend's husband says, hey, let's work together, let's collab, you come do this, we'll kick you some money, she'd probably work for 1/10 of what she would ever charge the NFL because
Yeah.
it's a friend,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
So
Maybe.
Wait, you
interesting.
said
We'll just have to see how it pans out.
you said he owns a company called Maximum Effort.
He owns a marketing agency called Maximum Effort.
So in the movie, he says that line like 4 times.
Yeah.
So is that he's like marketing his own thing in a movie?
Yeah.
if you want to blow your mind, start looking into how badass of a marketing genius Ryan Reynolds is.
I see his ads where he's like
The
upside
dude
down.
is insanely smart when it comes to marketing.
First off, I allegedly have some AR rifles, and one of them is it's
Deadpool?
It's a Deadpool rifle.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's got like the flip down thing. So like my dust cover flips down. It's got a Deadpool, and then it says Maximum Effort on
Mm-hmm.
it. And then the charging handle's got a Deadpool. Like it's just. It's just for fun. Like there's
Yeah.
like those little parts are cheap, and you can just change them out.
Right.
But yeah.
That's his thing. Is
I'll
like
be-
he's kind of lazy and he's like maximum effort.
Right.
Yeah, and then he jumps out.
I'll
I
be
love that
curious to
rifle.
see how many more spreads we're not getting because of final calls of the game.
I'm not buying it.
I mean,
I'm not buying it.
it's one thing if like they kneel it out when they're on the 40 or something like that,
I'm not
but like
buying it.
to choose to kick the field goal
If someone-
instead of when you're in touchdown range.
If from the 25-yard line, someone is down 7 and the spread's 5, and they kick a field goal with like 3 seconds left, or vice versa, I'll buy it. Like if they kick the field goal to cover the spread, like Okay.
Well, what if you're within scoring range, and a field goal does not make you win the game at all?
Well, that's what. No, I'm saying that's what. If you can't win the game, but you kick the field goal anyway to cover the spread, like I might buy it. Like the kneel down obviously is out because you can always say, well, we're just kneeling down at the end of the game. It's sportsmanship.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Right.
But if they literally are like, nope, we're going to kick the field goal anyway, we're not going to win.
Well, covering the spread could go either way.
Or
right? Intentionally choosing to not cover the spread when you had an opportunity to.
I don't see it happening.
I don't know.
It just seems there has to be.
You know what? You keep an eye on it.
I'm going to keep an eye on it.
And then you let me know because I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
It just seems like there has to be so many complex moving parts happening like just consistently over and over and over again.
Well, and that's the thing. Like if you're impacting the game, you're not going to impact every decision. You're not even going to successfully impact every game, right? But you can definitely impact the game with reffing, and you can definitely impact the game with last minute decisions like kicking a useless field goal or kneeling it down on the 1 yard line when you would be up by 10 if you scored the touchdown.
If time's going to run, don't give me the Chiefs crap, because if time's going to run out and you're going to win, you kneel the ball down. That's the right decision.
Yeah. I mean,
so
again,
there's like you can't say, oh, well, they're doing it because they're trying to the spread, but no, we're winning the game.
I could see multiple players.
I don't think it's
things.
happening. I just think there's enough things that have happened in coincidence where it's something to keep an eye on, right?
I think you're taking too much testosterone.
Oh, of course you do. As I'm having this conversation very calmly.
Did you have a wager on the game this weekend?
No, I don't. So here's what's funny. I don't understand sports betting.
Oh my God.
I've never placed a bet on a game ever.
Really?
I had to ask my neighbor what covering the spread is. Like
Are you serious?
Yeah, to further understand what that even means. Like I totally understood that the spreads were half points because you can't get a half point.
Yeah.
So you're either going to be 7 or 8, so you're going to be under it or over. Like I got all that. But like understanding the leverage from betting for the winner versus betting that they win and cover the spread or whatever, right? And so, yeah, I'm kind of ignorant with all that.
That's why we got to have a trip to Vegas for trade wins.
Ooh, that's going to get expensive.
Yeah, that's just like my problem with.
No, it's not.
That's my problem with conspiracies. Is like you can think of those things,
Maybe
and then you go into the actual world, and you see people just living, and you're just like, these people are stupid.
Well,
You're just like, man, like. I think there's different.
I think Austin called you stupid.
So
I'm
we're
not calling you stupid. I'm just saying like you go out and you see how people like you go to the cash register and you're just like, you know, it's like I'm thinking this person is a conspiracy. You know?
Yeah, dude. Have you seen the stuff about the federal emergency alert system going off tomorrow afternoon?
No.
Go home and look this up. So
tell me.
By the time this airs, this will be after the fact. But there's a big whole conspiracy. I'm not buying into this. I'm just relaying information.
We are supposed to have thunderstorms tomorrow.
There is a big whole conspiracy out there that the National Alert System, the ones that make your phones go berserk and all of that stuff, at 1:20 Central Time tomorrow afternoon, everyone's phones in America is going to go off with the emergency alert system.
Why? Is it a national test?
I think there as much as I mean, again, I don't spend too much time with this.
Coming?
So it's some form of a national test. And even if your phone is off when you turn it on several hours later, it will still make the noise. But there are a lot of people that think that is the prompt to start the purge or to attack or to something. Right? Ooh. So if all you got to do is like go onto Facebook.
Are you talking about like Anarchy, the movie Purge?
Maybe.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I mean, people have some wild ideas about what's going to happen tomorrow 1:20.
I got lots of fucking guns. Hopefully they come out to the country.
Maybe. You never know. Like if you got 20 minutes to kill and you want to roll your eyes at some wild conspiracy shit.
First off, I don't have 20 minutes.
He has a brother.
I'm looking for 20 minutes to find. Like I don't have 20 minutes to kill.
His brother's familiar with conspiracies.
Go look up like emergency test tomorrow or whatever, and you'll get on to that whole wormhole.
Yeah. Austin's right. Have you been hanging out with my brother?
No, why?
He's smoking pot.
And when I was saying
conspiracy
when I was
theories.
saying these people are stupid, I wasn't talking about like the conspiracy. I'm saying like you see conspiracy theories and you're like people are generally not that smart. Like,
Right.
That's what I meant. I was saying Mitch was dumb.
I'm somewhere in the middle of like the more your knowledge of history, the lower your trust in the government. And tinfoil hat. Like I'm somewhere in between there.
It was kind of like it's kind of like the thing that
I'm not tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
And I still remain some level of trust in the government.
It was like the Trump thing. People be like, he's so dumb and ignorant, but also he's this mastermind 4D chess underwater basket weaving. And like, we gotta pick one.
Yeah. All those people just knew it was happening.
I don't know where this show's
And then when it
gone.
didn't happen, they just knew it was going to happen again, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we actually finished earlier from the rant from the last podcast. It's 22 minutes.
I'm going to unplug Austin's
Let's
mic
go.
in a second.
Let's go an actual business topic here.
What do you want to talk about? I got to unwind my brain.
You got to unwind?
Right now.
Okay.
Like it's
so much to process.
I want a PSA out there for anybody that's looking into any kind of coaching.
What's PSA?
Public service announcement, much like the one that's going to be tomorrow at 1:20 Central
That's
Time.
why I asked it. I know.
You see like the phone's going off and you just cut to Dave's house. You bust his door open with an AR.
If at 1:20 it goes off, I'll call you immediately. I'll be like, dude, you were fucking right.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do now, Mitch?
What do we do
now, Master
I
Mitch?
have no doubt your phone's going to go off at 1:20. It's just what happens when the phone goes off. And I mean, here's the bullshit part about that. Everyone's phones are already synced anyway.
Yeah.
Like if there was something that was going to happen, they wouldn't wait for the entire America to be on alert checking their phone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
if they can crash 4 planes in the early 2000s without worldwide communication synced up, like I think they can figure it out.
I think they got it covered.
Yeah. So next topic.
Dave
I don't want to get back on the ramble again.
Stop. Everybody stop. Everybody
Next
stop.
topic.
We're moving on. Austin, be quiet. Mitch, go.
Hey, if you like what you're hearing on The Void and you want even more info, we just started a mentorship program specifically for trades professionals to start their business or to get their business to an incredibly healthy position. So if you'd like more info, click on the link in the description of this show. Be careful when you're looking for coaching of any kind, whether it's business coaching, sports coaching, or whatever the case may be. You need to be careful when you're really pursuing coaching. We do coaching in Tradewinds. I get professionally coached on several different ventures as well. And one of the things that I've learned over my years of being coached is the coach can only do so much. The difference maker is the individual. So let's say business coaching, for example. I can be attending business coaching sessions and I can have my coach telling me, you got to do this. And you got to do this, and you got to do this. Well, if I don't buck up and actually do what he's telling me to do, I'm not going to see the results that the whole reason I went into the coaching program was to see results. So if I don't actually buck up and do what he's telling me to do, then I'm not going to see results. And a month or two of not seeing results, maybe it just takes some time, right? 2 or 3 months of not seeing results, I don't know. You get a year and a half in of paying for coaching and not seeing results, that can be really discouraging, right? And so then you have to stand back and look at it like, why am I not seeing results? Well, I'm not doing anything differently. And I'm not saying me, I'm just in general.
Yeah.
You might not be doing anything differently than you were before you went into a coaching program. And so, coaching doesn't matter. It doesn't make a lick of difference if you aren't willing to put in the time, effort, energy, and uncomfortableness that it takes to change, right? Last night I put I made a post on Facebook about this, and the post didn't do well because anytime I make a post at 10 p.m., it never does well because everyone's asleep.
Yeah, no shit. It was actually at 10:30. I saw it this morning. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
So,
what? Like, don't you need some sleep?
Yeah, so yes, I do.
Well, then what?
Couldn't sleep last night.
Who can't sleep? You're not working hard enough.
You haven't been able to sleep for a while.
We did have a conversation last podcast about you not being able to sleep.
It's mine's. You know what? That's another topic for another day.
So the post says, they say that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, and growth simply can't happen when you limit your resources to learn. So you invest in yourself and you start putting yourself into rooms with people that are significantly more successful than you and who seem to have it all together. What do you learn? You learn that what got you here won't get you there. You learn that if you continue to do what you've been doing, you're only going to continue to yield similar results. You learn that if you're going to need to get real uncomfortable and become a completely different person if you want to achieve the dreams that you hold in your head. Be careful though. As encouraging as all this may seem, that room can be equally as discouraging. The more you know you don't know. When you walked into this room, you thought you were so much closer to the goal than you actually are. And you soon learn that you have such a long way to go. So now you have two options. You can either bear down, buckle up, and drive full steam ahead, or you can go back to your previous level and stay comfortable. Is there a wrong decision? Not really. You can probably make it either way. So what's the difference? One means raising your life to match your dreams, while the other means lowering your dreams to match your life. The choice is yours, so choose wisely. And through all of my experience with coaching, both personally and watching other people do it, I'll watch other people come into coaching programs and then leave after a year saying they didn't see results. And ultimately, it's because they're not putting in the work. They're not doing what the coaches say to do. They're not willing to put themselves in the uncomfortable position. They're struggling to do the program. And so then after a year of no results, they say the program doesn't work. And really what it is they aren't doing the work. So interesting to see your takes on all of that.
Yeah, I think, let me gather my thoughts for a second. I think I agree with that almost 100%. What I see in just trade wins, for example, when we have calls with the guys that are one-on-one and the guys that are watching the lessons and implementing the lessons and then coming back to their next monthly Zoom call with the homework that we've given them, and then they literally say to us, hey, I saw 20x growth, or I saw 10x growth, or 15x growth, or whatever. You know that they're engaged in the program and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And they're asking you for more, right? They're like, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this?
Right.
Like, you know that they're engaged. They're taking on the coaching that they're given.
Yeah.
Right? They're using the program.
Yep.
Then there are guys that we have the calls with, and then we're like, well, what happened with this? And 3 months goes by, and I ask them, I don't even know if they realize I'm asking them the same question.
Right.
Well, I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I don't know, and I don't know this. And then you're like, well, how's business? Well, it's not that it's slow, but there's no growth.
Right.
Right? And you can see it, and you know immediately, like after the second call, who's going to be engaged and who's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right.
I'm not saying that people won't eventually engage. Like, sometimes it takes a little bit for people to develop a trust issue, and that's where I'm going with my next point after this. And like, they have to be comfortable before they can be doing it, right?
Right.
So as far as, like, that leads us into coaching. If you're with someone and you don't trust that coach 100%, then you're not going to do what they ask you to do.
Right.
And you're not going to be doing what they're telling you to do. Right?
Yep.
That may not necessarily be on the coach, and that may not necessarily be on the person that's getting coaching. Sometimes you just don't meld, right? You don't see eye to eye on things. And it's the same thing with therapy. Like, they tell you, if you go to a therapist and you go 3 or 4 times and it just feels uncomfortable and you're not taking their advice and you're not, progressively getting better, it's because you're just not on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Like, and it's time to move on.
Yep.
Right? I will say...
You got to find somebody that you jive with.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. I will say, I don't think, like you were saying, if you're getting coaching and a year goes by or a year and a half goes by, I don't think it takes that long.
No.
I think well-trained coaches know in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Hey, and they should be asking you. And I know that there are a few guys that we're gonna have to, like, have that conversation with in trade wins. Like, hey, it's been 5 months, or 4 months or 6 months or 8 months or whatever, like, hey, are you actually implementing what we're talking about? Are you going through the lessons and doing what we're asking? Because, we're not seeing your growth. Like, the guys don't know that I can go in and see every lesson they've watched.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. And like, that's a coach with integrity is going to not milk you out for a year or a year and a half. They're going to come to you and say, hey, is this the right fit?
Right.
Like, is this really helping you at this point? And that's a tough, as a businessman and a coach, like, that's a tough decision to make for us, right? Like, we want them to stay and we want to make money off of them. But if they're not growing, I have ethics and I don't want to be taking their money if it's not working out for them.
Well, the income that we receive through Tradewinds is a reward for watching them grow. And if they're not growing, then the income feels unethical, right?
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, that's exactly my point. But,
yeah.
But my point really is for people getting coaching in other areas, like this is an example, you're a financial advisor.
Right.
If you're doing the things that he says and you're not seeing growth, or you're not comfortable doing the things he asks you to do because you don't think that those are quite right, like, obviously you're not on the right wavelength, but you don't have the stones to say, hey, I'm going to get out of it. And then he recognizes that you're not doing those things. Right. Like, you shouldn't be with him because he's just milking you for money. Right. And at the same time, how do I want to say it? Like, if you can't recognize it, but you're not doing the same things, you're also doing them wrong. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, and lots of people don't like change. Like, I know there's guys in our group that don't want to come to us and say probably, hey, I don't think this is working. And they'll just stick it out. And they may stick it out 6 months longer than they should. Yeah, maybe. So there's another side to that, though. And one of the other side to that is there is a type of personality that maybe they weren't pursuing results as they were pursuing camaraderie. And so there are people that will stay affiliated to groups, coaching groups or coaching programs, simply because they enjoy the camaraderie that comes with it. They enjoy the confidence that comes from a sounding board that's available 24/7 and a group of trusted, like-minded individuals that maybe they don't have in their own peer group or whatever the case may be. And so there's a lot of people that will stay in those programs simply for that benefit, right? And, there is significant benefit there, right? When you have those midnight thoughts or those fleeting moments or whatever the case may be, it's kind of nice to be able to know that you have the confidence to go to that group, dump your question, vent or whatever, and get the support from that group. Your business might not be growing, but that group might be what's keeping you in business and keeping you from throwing in the towel. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and if we're holding a business, flatlined that without us would have gone under, technically that's growth, right? Yeah, growth over where they would be. And I will say, like, to your point there, being part of a group, like, this is me 100%, being part of a group that is like-minded and holds you together and keeps you focused and drives your confidence forward is actual business growth. There's value there. Yeah, it's actual business growth. Yep. Because without it, you would crumble. Like, I would. You may not be able to see it in your revenue, and you may not be able to see it in your bottom line. Yeah. But you're growing as a person. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I can think of one guy specifically that's, he told us the other day, he's like, no, right. And I was messaging him on Facebook Messenger. He's like, no, you guys don't understand how much you've changed my life. Right. Like, you just, like, the business is growing steadily. Yep. But the part for him that was great is just like being with the other guys that he has something in common with and can pull from, and then he gets all this confidence from them, and it just makes him a better person. Yep. Like, and he knows it, and he's like, no, you don't understand. Well, and like it's not all about the business for me. It's about, making my life better. Right. And some of that stuff just takes time. And some of that stuff people, you got to go a couple of steps back before you can go forward, right? Yeah. So it's not uncommon to get with a coach and your business actually shrinks in the first few months
because you got to carve out the cancerous employees. You got to stop all the bad habits, and you got to kind of get to a good square one and then build from there. Right?
Yeah.
We're experiencing that in our business right now. We're not shrinking, but we're not growing the top line revenue like we had been in the past. But what we are growing is we've tripled our net profit. We've tripled our net profit for 3 months in a row now. We made some changes.
When you listen to your friend Dave.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? So
stop spending money, Mitch. God damn it.
So we're growing there, although, the big braggy number that everyone likes to talk about is their top line revenue. Oh, I'm $1 million company, or I'm a $10 million company. Well, really what matters is how much are you keeping, right?
Yeah.
So
that's why when you roll up in the fucking nice ass car and you're like, hey, bro, what's up?
Yeah.
Like that's like for me, I don't talk numbers with anyone.
Yeah.
Like no one knows how much money I make.
Yeah.
And then they'll just see me out. I'm like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
you driving a nice car doesn't tell me how much money you make. It tells me how much money you spend.
That's not
right?
true.
So that's essentially what the nice car thing is, right? Now you have to have it to spend it, but there's a lot of guys that are spending everything they got.
That's true.
So
that's true. I spend nothing.
I know.
Dave is like the actual Ron Swanson.
Maybe.
Like he goes to the hospital and like he's actually redacted all the information except for his like name, and it's like birthday. It's like it's springtime.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, oh, what are you doing with this? What are you doing with that? What are you doing? I'm like, dude, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like,
leave it alone.
You worry about you, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
So you hit on something earlier that I want to retouch on, and that is you have to have trust in your coach, right? And so like a therapist is a relationship coach, essentially, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It could be a marriage, it could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, could be a mom and dad or whatever, but it could be a relationship with yourself. But a therapist is a relationship coach.
Dude, I'm still going to therapy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've had good rounds with therapists and I've had bad rounds. I've had 10 sessions with a therapist that by the time it just festered and festered and festered. And by the time it got over with, I'm like, that son of a bitch milked me for 10 sessions.
Yeah.
And he could have told me on session 10 what he told me on session 1, and it would have been fixed. But like he drug it out for 10 fucking sessions. Like this is bullshit, right?
Like my coach is like, so mine is just like, I feel bad for her. Like I just lay everything on her. I'm like, this is what's happening. This is why and the thing is like, I know why I am the way I am. Yeah. And I'll just tell her all that and I'll be like, yeah, that's why I am. And she's like, yeah, you're probably right.
Why are you here?
No, she doesn't say that, but I know she's thinking it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have to be able to tell someone that stuff.
Well,
like, and I'm just like, I mean, poor bitch, I'm wearing her out. I know it.
So like, because of that bad therapy session, 10 sessions, whatever, where I overpaid basically 10x what I should have for the advice that we ended up getting on session 10.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will never, ever be that person. So
now you try to see it early, right?
As I'm in the coaching role now, anytime, like hell, we've got people that'll call and ask for information about trade winds. And during their initial conversation, we'll talk over the phone and see if their business is right for trade winds. Like I'm dropping so much value on the initial sales call. Like even if they don't sign up, they got their fucking money's worth just on the sales call to learn about them and learn about trade winds and everything else. Like, because that therapist basically slow played the thing for 10 conversations, I go the other way.
So because of him, you're fucking me out of money on
whatever.
trade wind sales.
Let's go. I'm maximum effort, right? I go Deadpool,
Maximum
and I'm
effort.
giving you everything I got while I got you there, right?
I'm out of the gate.
So one of the things that I do, because trust is important, you have to have trust in your people. And one of the biggest struggles we have in trade winds is a lot of tradespeople are not all that eager to jump on social media. And that's one of the things that we really push on trade winds is social media is the freest place to get work. And so one of the things that I do to build trust in people when it comes to my knowledge of social media, and I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable in social media and understand all the algorithms, but I understand enough, right?
We understand enough in trade winds and from your experience that a 1 to 3 man shop can make $1 million a year without spending any
advertising,
money
right?
on marketing.
Well,
And
maybe $250 to $500 a month on marketing, but we're talking $1 million a year in revenue.
Yeah, and then once they reach to 1.3 million, we teach them the Mitch way of spending way too much money on fucking marketing because we think we've made it.
R&D. Anyway, so one of the things that I do, and we'll actually do this, we can actually do this exercise right here live on the podcast because this exercise is timeless. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is, unless it's the middle of the night. If you're listening to this at 2 a.m., don't do this. You want to do it when your social group is awake. So if it's in the morning or in the middle of the day when your social group is awake, do this, and I'll have people do this and build their trust in my knowledge of social media. So what that is you would pull out your phone and you would go to Facebook, and you'd go to your Facebook memories. And
should I be doing this?
You could do it right now.
I'm not.
Well,
doing it.
You're
My
not going to do it.
On timer.
So what you're going to, and it's in the evening, so it's a little bit different. You want to do it in the morning or midday. That's when posts perform better on social media. But morning or midday, you're going to pull out your phone. You're going to go to Facebook. You're going to go to your Facebook memories, and it's going to show you all the memories that you've had from that day in previous years. So you're going to go to the most popular post you had that day in previous years, and all you're going to do is you're going to add a comment on that post. One simple comment. You're going to say something like, man, this was a fun time. And maybe if you really want to prove it, you'll go and reply to a couple of comments that maybe you hadn't replied to. And you'll be like, haha, a year later, wow, check this out. Or 5 years later, holy cow, time flies, right? You're just going to do something like that. And that starts in social media what we call the 30-second restart rule. In other words, that post was dead. Nobody's interacted with it forever, so Facebook thinks it's dead. Well, the moment you add a comment to it or you reply to a couple of comments to it, it reactivates the post as if it's a brand spanking new post. And all of a sudden, you'll now start getting notifications in your Facebook notifications bar that other people have liked it and other people have commented on it as if it's a brand new post. And I do that exercise with people. I've led a couple of talks on how to use social media to grow your business. And I'll open the talk with that specific exercise. And I do it on purpose. I open the talk with that, and I have people do it. And I like literally wait while they're doing it and adding a couple of comments. And if you need any suggestions, I'll help you.
All right.
By the end of the talk, I'll have people pull back out their Facebook. How many notifications you got? Well, I got 8 notifications. Oh my gosh, people are commenting on that post. See? It works, right?
Well, and if you're using that for your business profile, or if it's a post that's related to business, all of a sudden something that was dead a year ago has 8 new
engagements
and
8 new eyes on you.
8 new, thank you. 8 new eyes on your business right there.
Right.
So that's just like advertising. That's free, people.
And these
free.
These are some of the things that we teach in TradeWinds, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because you have to have trust in your coach. And so whenever I'm coaching people on how to use social media to grow their business, they don't know me from anybody, right? I can tell them that we did $1.2 million a year in revenue with almost no advertising, and it was all through social media.
Yeah, but lots of people lie, right?
Maybe they think I'm lying. Maybe they don't believe me or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
So if they have the credentials to back it up, and then I give them a provable lesson that they can learn during my speech, and they'll be like, holy cow, that way, at the end of the speech, when they see that, if they were questioning anything that I was saying, they now have full trust in me, right?
Right.
So it's a pretty cool exercise. If you're listening to this podcast, do that right now. If it's morning or midday, do it. Posts by nature, post in the evenings don't do all that well. No, so
people are soccer, they're dinner.
Yeah, their kids' activities, their dinner, their whatever. Like you get on a little bit before you go to bed, but that's kind of it. So try it in morning or midday. And prove it to yourself that works. It's called the 30-second restart rule. It's pretty badass. So,
I think a lot of people still think that when they post that all 1,400 other friends see that exact same. It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
And that's for a long time.
Yeah, that's another lesson that we teach in TradeWinds about the sampling size of your posts and who sees them and who doesn't and what allows more people to see them and everything else. So,
Sign up for TradeWinds. Go see
another.
Get underneath.
Shameless plug for Austin. I like it.
Another topic that I want to hit, speaking of posting on Facebook or social media, is anonymous posts.
Getting in close for this one.
So So I have very stern opinions about the anonymous post, and I don't know if I'm right in this, right? I don't know if I'm accurate. You know, I'd be kind of a narcissist if I thought all of my opinions were accurate, right? Now, I firmly believe all my opinions, but I'm not going to say that you should believe my opinions.
First off, we're gonna time out. You are a narcissist.
I could be.
Oh no, you are. It's 100% you are. We'll be having an argument, and Mitch will be like, "No," like we don't really argue, but like he'll be like, "No, that's what it is." I'm just looking at him. I'm like, he can't even fathom the thought that he's wrong in this instance.
Maybe
that's a narcissist.
Could be.
On with your story.
So, I have strong opinions about anonymous posts.
I like it. Now he's changed it to strong
I'm
opinions.
curious. Very, very adamant opinions.
I love you, bro.
Me personally, I don't feel there's not one single instance where an anonymous post has merit.
Oh, agreed.
Not one.
Agreed 100%.
Not a single post, right?
If you ever post something anonymously, you're a chicken shit. That's like rule one. You're a chicken shit.
You're either a chicken shit or you're trying to ask the question in a platform that is not the best place to get that answer, right? Like say for instance, if you have a non-compete, and you're friends with your boss, or you're friends with a lot of people at work, and you're wanting to start probing for new jobs or whatever the case may be. Okay. So that would be the reason why somebody would say, "Oh, I need an anonymous post."
Yeah,
well,
but
let's just say
that's not where you do that.
Exactly.
That's the inappropriate place to do that.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. That's
if you ever feel that, like, and so they always
you're
go to
doing the wrong thing. You're doing the wrong thing in both cases.
Yeah.
But in that case specifically, you're doing the wrong thing.
Right. Or the people that'll post anonymously and they'll be like, "I think my boss is taking unfair advantage of their employees. What should I do?" Talk to them. Don't go to fucking Facebook and ask the general public's advice. Talk to your boss or quit your job.
They're doing a double anonymous. Like they're doing anonymous and they're saying treating my friends, which they're probably actually. Yeah. Like really, you're going through two layers of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Posting for a friend.
Yeah. And look, if you think your business isn't treating, if you think your workplace isn't treating their employees correctly, and you go to your boss and you're like the first guy to go in there and be like, "Hey, dude,"
right?
Like the office door's shut. You're not berating someone.
Nope.
And you're like, "I think this is happening and this shouldn't be happening," and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You're either being promoted, you're going to be a manager,
or they're going to fix the problem.
Or they're going to fix the problem, or you're going to get fired, but you're going to have so much clout with everyone at that company that you're not going to have another problem finding a job. And you're probably great at your job, and you're going to get a job easy.
The fact that you have the opinion that you might be being taken advantage of says that you're probably great at your job.
Or that your fucking brain works.
Right. Right.
Like, you know.
So one of the other go-tos
don't be a chicken
is domestic violence, right? Everyone says, well, you should, like, if somebody's being beaten in their home or whatever, they need to be able to post anonymously.
Agreed, but that's still an inappropriate place to put it. You should be calling the cops or other family members to have somebody's ass beat.
Exactly. Or Facebook is like the technology kings of the world. Like, literally, you can shake your phone while on Facebook. If you're on Facebook scrolling and you see a post you don't like, you don't even, like, you can literally shake your phone and it will open up a screen. Would you like to report this post to Facebook? Right? So they're smarter than you can ever think they are. They could have an emergency contact button to where you don't even have to type out a post. You could literally hit a button on your Facebook and it will say, "What kind of emergency are you in? Is this domestic violence? Tap here and we'll put you in contact with the appropriate authorities." We'll even make it look like a fake Facebook Messenger, right? We can make it look like a marketplace thing. Like they could do so much.
Yeah.
But instead, what they do is they encourage non-courageous behavior and they encourage people to post anonymously, right?
Yeah.
And I, like, if you follow me on social media,
instead of posting anonymously, let me just talk about that for a second. Like, you just brought up Messenger. Message one of your friends.
Right.
That can do something for you that you trust. Like, and I know people are, oh, well, what about those people that don't have one close friend? Everyone has one close friend that has a phone.
Right.
Like, there are very, very rare circumstances in this country where, yes, that's not, they don't have a close friend, okay? But those people also probably don't have phones.
Right.
So stop with your moot point bullshit.
Right.
Just you know.
Go to Quick Trip. They have the safe place there. You can just, you know.
Yeah, for
Right.
those people, go to Quick Trip.
You can literally walk into Quick Trip if you're in a domestic violence
Yeah, you can
situation.
say,
You can
"Hey."
walk into Quick Trip and you can tell the person in the counter, "I need safe place,"
Like under 18, I think.
and they'll let you behind the counter.
Don't
right?
they? Do they have a room and then they call the cops?
No, so they have to
Also
hide.
worked at Quick Trip for
Well,
anyone
they
that doesn't
come
know.
behind the counter, and there's like a list of things you can and can't ask. Like you're supposed to ask, like you're supposed to like get them something if they want to drink or eat, and then like a social worker will show up like an hour later
Yeah.
and just meet with the kid or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then if there's someone chasing them, obviously you can call 911 for them, and then the cops show
Yeah,
up.
the stand's pretty tall, so they can hide behind like the cigarettes or like underneath the counter if they need
Gotcha.
to or something.
Right. And so the problem, so here's the big problem with anonymous posts. And I don't say I can agree with this, but I can definitely get excited about the idea of it.
That was
If
a creepy look on your face right
If
there.
people can post anonymously, then
you
we
see
should
that?
absolutely be able to reply anonymously, right? Why do you get anonymity to ask some bullshit, stupid question, and I have to show my name to tell you you're a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
Like community pages. Posting anonymously because I'm embarrassed it's a silly question. What time does Target close? Like, how the fuck are you allowed to ask that question anonymously and I can't
reply with
I can't be like,
Hey.
you are a fucking idiot. Why are you going to Facebook on something you should Google or just call them? You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to put my name to that, but they don't have to put their name to their question?
There's like
I'm
Apple
caught
has
in
maps
between
and
here.
Google Maps.
I'm caught in between here because, like, the fact that that's an example, like, makes me hate you because
Well-
I'm just like, why would you waste your time to? But I know
It's
you're
a
using
legitimate
as-
fucking example, right?
I know people do stupid shit like that all the time, but
Yeah.
it's like, why do you get so worked up over it? Like, who cares?
But the reason
I'm
I get
talking
worked
about
up,
important thing, like,
I know the reason I get
important
worked
things I
up
get
over
worked
it
up over
is
it.
because that piece of social, like our Tradewinds Facebook group, I'm the admin of that group, I'm the creator of that group. You cannot post anonymously in that group. I've turned the fucking feature off. If
first off, no one's going to post anonymously in that group.
I understand.
It's a highly educated,
Right.
over the top.
I understand.
These people are fucking brilliant type of group.
Right.
Like,
But
you
what
don't
I-
need to.
What I'm
Right there.
saying is the fact that Facebook allows groups to even have that feature
Yeah,
is
it's bullshit.
It's
You're mad at
watering
Facebook. I get it.
it's watering down the courageousness of society. Society is now larger pussies because you can post anonymously.
Agreed 100%. I've been saying it for 2 fucking years. Is that where we're going with this?
Maybe.
Okay.
But-
agreed.
so-
They're idiots. They're pussies. And technology is making people soft. I agree 100%. 100,000 fucking percent. What do we do about it?
I used to be very upfront. Like people would ask some of the most
got
bullshit
question
questions ever.
dodger.
No.
Well, no, I have a bit to add to this too. Like I'm in a camera group, and literally it's worldwide. Like the chances of you actually seeing this person in your lifetime, Abu Dhabi, I'm from the French Alps or whatever. Just like so, if you're posting like
Did he say Abu Dhabi?
so, it's just like the chances of like you actually knowing that person and then them being embarrassed is like. That's why I don't get the posting anonymously. It's because like you would never even know who they were, even if you could see their name.
Right.
Because they live in like Germany or like Yugoslavia or something.
Right.
Like, you know.
And so here's the thing is like you'll get people that are asking some of the absolute dumbest questions, right? Like literally just today. There was somebody on a House Call Pro Facebook group that was asking questions about what kind of service van they should buy.
A good one.
And they asked it anonymously. And I'm like, number one, stop posting anonymously. Number two, this is the wrong freaking platform to ask about vans. It's a CRM Facebook group. House Call Pro is a CRM for service-based businesses. And number three, stop posting anonymously, right?
First off, I will say, devil's advocate, they may post anonymously because they're trying to leave their job and don't want to get fired. Maybe.
Wrong
Two,
platform to ask the question. then.
Agreed. Agreed. Can I finish?
Go
They're
ahead.
trying to get advantage of
Two.
steal children.
Two, yeah, they're on the wrong platform. Like
100%.
Your response should have been like, so my response would have been, hey, dude, woman, whatever, his, hers, their, at, poop, whatever. I don't know what the things are anymore. You're on the wrong group for this. You should be on this. And if you're posting anonymously because you think you're going to get fired, just stop. You're already out the door. What are you worried about?
Well, here's the thing.
What are you worried about?
Yeah, if you're already going to get a van, like that's you're pretty much.
If you're looking to get a van because you're wanting to start your own thing and you're posting anonymously so you don't get fired, I got news for you. If you're going to start your own business, you know what you're going to need? Courage. So stop posting anonymously.
I agree with that. You know what? I agree with that 100%. What I don't understand is why you're so mad about it.
All right, so you've newly started your company and you're trying to pinch pennies. However, you don't realize the biggest thing that's hurting you right now is not gathering all of your information into one spot and making it super efficient for you to use. So the answer is Field Pulse. It gets you off of paper tickets. It gets you off of all of that crazy office work at the end of the day and reconciling all that stuff. And it lets you organize everything with ease. It puts it all into the computer. It actually puts it all into the cloud. So it's not even putting it on your computer. And it lets you organize your customers. It lets you organize all of your service calls. Heck, it'll even route you to your service call. And the best part is, even after all of that, you'll probably realize about a 100% growth in your business just in the first year of using Field Pulse. So if you'd like to check out Field Pulse and see what great looks like, click on the link in the description of this show.
Like, I understand that, like, we eventually, as a society, we all have to put our foot in the ground and be like, hey, look, we have to, like, course correction here.
Right.
As a society. Like, this is what we have to be doing.
Yeah.
But the fact that it bothers you so much, it makes me worry about you.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. Like, you may have a heart attack over Facebook posts that are anonymous.
Here's the thing. If the government decides to make a decision, I don't really have any control in that, right? I can cast a vote, but it is what it is. Social media is for, like, public, I don't want to say public humiliation, but, like, you can actually sway the opinion of public through social media. And especially on neutral things like posting anonymously, right? I can basically chastise somebody for posting anonymously, and they don't care if I'm Republican, Democrat, neutral, you know, bi, straight, gay, doesn't matter, right?
On TRT.
Like, people, on TRT, not on TRT, doesn't matter. There are, like, when I always challenge the posting anonymously when I see it, every time. And you would be amazed. So what'll happen, somebody will ask some bullshit question. What kind of van should I buy? And it's on the wrong platform, right? Why are you posting anonymously? Why the hell is this an anonymous post? You know, on more, like, plumber oriented groups, I'll get a little bit more vulgar and I'll be like, why the fuck is this an anonymous post?
Stop saying fuck, Mitch.
Yeah. But what's funny is the post might get 20 comments. And for one, most of the comments are absolute bullshit because nobody wants to help an anonymous person. I don't even know who you are. You might be my competition. Why would I want to help you, right? I want to know who I'm helping.
Yeah.
And everybody is this way. And so, for one, the answers that you get when you make an anonymous post are bullshit answers because nobody wants to help somebody who wants to remain anonymous. But for two, whenever I challenge why you're posting anonymously, it'll be the most reacted comment on the whole thing, right? 99% of the people will comment in support of it, like, I agree, I don't know why this is, whatever. And then you'll get one, like...
There's one D-bag.
There's one limp dick liberal, as you're trying to get in there. There'll be one... There'll be one, like, sourpuss that's like, maybe they don't want their inbox full of messages. All you got to do is fucking ignore them, right? When you ask for advice, you're going to get advice, and it's your job to pilfer through the 95% of bad advice and you, like, pick the one you want. Like they literally ask a question, they want people's input, and then they're acting like, well, I don't want my messenger full of requests.
Well, then don't ask the question.
Then don't ask the question.
Yeah, like, if you're in a bad spot where you need, like, rescuing or help, if you post anonymously, be like, okay, who am I going to rescue?
Right. Like, imagine calling 911 and being like, I'm not going to tell you who I am or where I am, but I need some help.
Or what kind of knife is inside of me.
Yeah. Can you tell me the best ambulance to ride into the hospital?
That's fucking dark, bro.
I'm not going to tell you if it's a 303 that shot me or an 06.
I don't...
Oh, boy.
No, you still didn't answer my question.
What's that?
You just rambled for 5 minutes and didn't answer my question. Why does it bother you so much?
It bothers me because it is my one chance to actually influence society in the best way that I can to send the message and rally other people around the idea that anonymous posts are not okay.
I agree. I understand that. I understand that. That still doesn't answer the question, why does it bother you? That's the reason why I post so aggressively.
Right. So
the question of why does it bother me so much, is it because society is just starting to get to you and it's starting to bother you and you're fucking wore out? Because frankly, that's how I am.
There's so many things in society.
Than that.
There's so many things in society I can't change and I can't influence.
So it makes you the same amount of mad as other things, but you're fired up about it because you think it's one thing that you can battle face to face.
I can actually have influence on. Maybe.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you for answering my question 25 minutes later. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And the reason I know I can have influence on it's not just me, it's anybody, right? Like I agree. If you disagree with anonymous posts, challenge everybody that posts anonymously.
I'm prodding you.
Right.
Is to get the information.
Right. Like
sometimes I got to get it out with a crowbar.
It's the same reason, as a large part bullying is bad. However, the fear of getting punched in the mouth kept you straight and narrow.
Yeah, I gotta post that again.
Yeah. So two things can be true at the same time. Bullying is bad, but also the fear of getting punched in the mouth keeps you honest, right? And so
it keeps you from being a douche.
Right. So when you're posting anonymously, you need challenged on that, especially if people are posting anonymously about domestic violence stuff. Whether I agree with it or not, I don't give them shit for it.
Oh, of course not.
You know what I mean? I'm in an unsafe scenario, or I need to leave my husband, or I need a room for the night, or whatever, and they're posting anonymously.
Shit. Freebies.
I mean, whether I agree with that or not, I'm not going to blow them up about it. But when you're posting anonymously about something that is absolutely 100%, it shouldn't be anonymous.
Yeah.
And the worst ones are whenever they admit it. I shouldn't be posting anonymously, but I'm really embarrassed. Do you know when the construction's going to end on Milton Thompson Road? Oh my God.
That's just...
If we can't ask a simple question, holy cow, we're fucking doomed.
Well, I mean, that's kind of...
we're doomed anyway.
Well, that's just kind of how society works. Whenever you go in to get anything fixed online, the first thing you do is you have to answer 7 questions about your name and last name and this and that. Okay, what can I help you with today?
Right.
That's kind of how society works.
Yeah, I just... like you said, we're doomed. I've been saying it for years. That ship has sailed. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before it's anarchy. Right? Yeah, I mean, that's just the path we're on.
Yeah.
And the anonymous post is it's the epitome of wussification in America, right? Yep. That's literally the definition. Dude. What do you mean by a bunch of people in America are a bunch of wusses and they don't want to be tough and they don't want to do this?
Because they can't ask even what vehicle to buy without asking it with anonymity.
Yes,
I mean, come on.
Exactly, because they're so afraid and their anxiety's so high and they're so soft that they just can't handle criticism.
Yep.
That's what I mean by wussification. It's just, it is what it is. And I mean, I will say, I don't know why, we didn't say we were going to talk about trade winds a lot, but the guys that are in trade winds, and the people that came to the event, those are stand-up people in their community. They're looking to make a difference, and they're tough, right? They're like us. They're like, hey, no, we're going to march forward despite all the bullshit that's going on.
Right.
I want to believe that those people are trying to turn the tide, even if they don't turn the tide. If they have that type of mindset,
exactly,
they will be insanely successful no matter what they're doing. Whether they're a member of Trade Winds or whether they just listen to this show and it sparks a fire and they're like, no, I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to be moving forward and don't interrupt me.
No, I'm letting you go.
And I'm going to be great.
Yep.
The easy thing right now is, if you want to be great, now's the time. Because it's easier than it ever has been before, because there's so many pussies out there that don't want to do anything, that want to live in their mom's basement, that don't want to work, that don't want to be great. What does that mean? That means it's easy for you to go out and make a lot of money and buy a Ferrari or buy a fucking sig boat.
Right.
And drive that thing on the Ozarks at 200 miles an hour or whatever the hell they do. because you're killing it, and it's easy to kill it right now. All you really have to do is show up and have a good price, and you're literally making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Like, and you literally can do anything you want right now with very limited competition. It's not like the 90s and the late 90s and the early aughts when there was so many people in the trades and so much competition that it was hard to keep your head above water.
Right.
Now it's like you have 3 life rafts and people and there's 8 floating around you. You're so high above the water because literally there's no competition.
Right.
Everyone else is fucking drowned. You took their raft.
And they're posting anonymously to complain about it.
I'm done.
The one thing that you said that I want to hit on is you talked about the Tradewinds guys are not posting anonymously and they're going to be successful. And prime example, one of our, I'm not going to name his name, but one of our Tradewinds members was on a call with us and asking about finances, and it's a Zoom call, so we asked him to share his screen and open up his QuickBooks. And we jumped into his profit and loss statement, and we were able to identify a couple of adjustments that needed to be made and recategorization of where he's allocating funds.
Yeah.
And then once those are done, we're going to be able to actually analyze your statement. But right now it's kind of messy, so we got to clean that up first, right? And he had no pride in that whatsoever. He was
okay, cool.
He was like, here, please help me, right?
Yeah.
And he's not asking to remain anonymous with his finances. He's not asking us for help, but then not giving us the piece of information that makes all the difference in the world and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So you're right. That does lead to success. But what does success mean? Like, I'm hitting on what you were talking about. They may not go on to be giant pillars in their community. They may not go on to be wildly successful, but they will be successful. What that means is they'll be happy, right?
It means they'll have made a difference for what they want to see the difference as.
And if you have the courage to say what's on your mind.
That makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah. If you have the courage to say what's on your mind without fear of recourse, you will be happy, right? Like,
well, you won't have regrets.
Exactly.
And regrets and holding things in are half of why people are unhappy.
Exactly. And so, like, I am very transparent with a lot of my thoughts, right?
Yeah, I tell Mitch to fuck off all the time. It makes me feel great.
Like, I'm going to say probably 80% of my thoughts are great, right? We all have, and we've talked about this on the show before, we all have bad thoughts. Don't judge yourself on your thoughts. Judge yourself on your actions, because we all have bad thoughts from time to time. Like, 80% of my thoughts are great, right? 20% of my thoughts, maybe I haven't thought them through all the way, but because I'm really transparent with my thoughts, I express them. And by expressing them, I'm willing to stand behind my words with courage. And even if I'm wrong, I'm still willing to stand behind my words and state my case and everything else, right?
Yeah, and it makes you stronger later if you learn that you were wrong and then you come out and then say, hey, I stood behind what I said and I found out I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, that makes you a stand-up individual.
Right.
Like, that's just, no one's perfect and everyone makes mistakes.
Right. And that
It's just, is what it is.
That also adds to a key piece in society that we all need, and that is the fact that it's perfectly okay for people to, in large part, be great people, but maybe they have a couple of obtuse opinions in a couple of areas. And I say obtuse meaning like we don't agree with them. But as a large part, we agree with 90% of what they do, so they can still be our friends, right?
Yeah, and that's the cancel culture thing, right?
Right.
Like, oh, I don't agree with that one thing they did, so I'm burning them to the ground.
Exactly.
Like, that's just not, that's not reality. Mitch and I do not agree 100% of the time on 100% of the things.
I'm willing to bet that we only agree on probably 60% of the stuff.
I would say it's probably more like 80-20.
Well, I was going to say we only agree on 60. The other 80 we're willing to say like, even if I don't agree, it's not going to hurt anything.
We agree. So we agree on 60%, 20% where we hem-haw around, and then 20% is like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But just because I don't agree with Mitch on 20% of the fuck you stuff doesn't mean that we can't, like, I can't take his advice and I can't come to him and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Exactly. We can still pull each other forward even though we greatly disagree on 20% of topics.
Yeah, I'll call him and I'll say, hey, and this has been the last 3 weeks, hey, what's the deal with these Tradewinds leads?
Right.
Like, well, I haven't, got information on this, and this, and I've sent them out. So the next time I ask him again, that doesn't mean that he hates my guts. That
No.
doesn't mean that that I don't respect that he's done the right thing. It's my job to say, hey, dude, where are we at?
Right.
Like, you know, and like that's a part of the problem in society is when someone says that to people now, they're like, hey,
He must not like me.
They get offended and they're like, oh, no, I can't do business with that guy anymore.
Right.
Pfizer. I mean, like,
Yeah.
like it's so dumb. Like, oh, I don't agree with you in this one area, so we can't work together.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Right.
Like, you know, people in this country talk about, you know, being divided and divisive comments and all
Right.
that. Well, that starts with being able to handle someone else's opinion and realizing that you don't agree with it, but then still being able to collaborate with them,
Dude.
and live with them and say, hey, we're going to make this work, you know, regardless, because if not, literally what happens? It's a 50-50 divide, and
Yep.
the only answer is killing each other.
Right.
Like, that's the op-out.
Dude, I'm telling you, so like the in-home service professional is the master at putting differences aside for the greater good of the relationship between them and their customer. And what I mean by that is I walk up to one customer's house and they've got a Trump 2020 flag hanging on their house. I don't care. I'm still giving them the greatest service I can. I walk up to the next customer's house and they've got a Biden 2020 flag hanging on their house. I don't care. I'm not letting that get in the way.
Of a
I'm
sale.
still giving them great service, right? I walk up to another customer's house and they've got a Black Lives Matter, you know, sign hanging in their yard. I don't care. I'm still giving them good service. Regardless of my opinion on Trump or Biden or Black Lives Matter or any of that shit, that doesn't matter. My
Your
job is to give them the greatest service I can, right? And the business owners or the technicians out there that are absolutely fucked in today's society are the ones that walk up and prejudge a house based off of that stuff. And they're trying to act like that person is any more or less of a good human because of that. Like, we're all entitled to our own opinions. We're all entitled to our own beliefs. Whether I disagree or agree with your beliefs, I'm happy you believe them, and I'm happy you're willing to stand firm enough to plant the flag and put the sign in the yard. Like, that's America, right?
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're Trump or Biden or Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter or whatever. I'm here to fix your fucking toilet, and I'm here to pet your dog.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I'm not here to, and we've talked about this before, I'm not here to push my agenda on you.
Right.
Like, that was the whole Bud Light thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one, like, everyone said, well, oh, anyone that doesn't drink Bud Light now that did is because they're against gay people and transgender people. No. They were tired of a corporation trying to push their agenda.
Yep.
Right? Like, that would be the same thing as if you went up to a Biden house and were like, dude, you should have voted for Trump, you dumb son of a bitch, and I'm not fixing your goddamn toilet until you take that fucking flag down.
Right.
Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to be able to, like, that's what makes this country the greatest, right? Is that you should be able to have your own opinion, vote for who you want to, and then have everyone get along. Like, that's
Right.
the American, that's like what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
But it's turned into a fucking shit
Dude,
show lately.
you want to fight? You want to reminisce about something that I got way wrong.
Oh yes,
Bud Light.
Yeah, well, you
Bud
were wrong?
Light.
Oh yeah.
Remember
yeah.
when I said Bud Light's going to blow over? Right?
No.
Like, I did. You don't remember? I was on the podcast and I'm like,
No, I'm not.
their
saying,
sales dropped.
I'm not saying no. I don't remember. I'm saying no. I know I was right, and it was going to last for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about closing the fucking branch down.
Yeah, like,
Because it has nothing to do with transgender or gay or anything. It was just people are tired of having shit shoved in their face
Yeah.
all the time. They
Yeah.
don't care. But stop.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get everyone to accept the way. Like, I've said this on the show. Like, I don't go to people's house and beat them with my cross and say, "You son of a bitch, you believe in Jesus." No, I don't do that.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not from the Knights Templar. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. What was the Great Crusade? Like, when it was a Great Crusade when they went around and, like, if you didn't believe in Jesus, they killed everyone. Like, that's not me.
that
It's the
sounds very Jesus-like.
Yes, it was. It was so unbelievably stupid when you look back at it, right? But it's the same thing now.
The Lord will overcome you and you will fall to your knees. Well, that's really, I got you in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't listen.
I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Like,
That's not the way it should be.
it's the same thing now. Like, you can't just be like, nope. You either love the transgenders or
Right.
Stop.
Well, I'm
just
thinking,
sell
like-
your shit.
Like, who
Stop.
drinks Bud Light? Like, it'd be different with
Mitch
different
used to drink
companies.
Bud
Well,
Light.
so what's
He
funny
loved
is-
some
Well,
Bud
what
Light
I
when he
mean,
was
like,
a kid.
your client base is probably not a bunch of, like, their client base is probably not blue
Oh yeah,
liberals in
total
California.
misread that, right?
They're still under like 28%.
You know,
annual sales, and
they-
they're pushing a year.
White Claw could take a stance on that, and White Claw could maybe put a transgender person on their bottle and not see too big of a hit. But Bud
Yeah.
Light, that was just the wrong move.
Well, and I just
Truly, maybe. Is that another seltzer beer?
Maybe, yeah. It
I
just
feel
depends
like
on
the
your
donkey's
audience.
dead. Like it's over.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
But
They're
man, I
closing that
was
thing down. You were
I was
wrong. Yeah.
nowhere near. I was like, oh, this is gonna blow over in a couple of weeks. People are gonna forget about it.
Dude,
Boy, I
it's
was
crushed.
I was nowhere near right there.
What they ought to do is take 5 pounds of hops out, and then just make it something else and rename it, and like keep everything the same but label the bottles different. Like, and just make a new beer.
And just make it Rud Bite.
They should
Lud
they should just
Bite.
anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they should do, because it's over.
Yeah.
The thing that's hard is it's hard to do that because Budweiser is
Yeah. Oh yeah.
such a great beer.
Yep.
Like, dude, sometimes I'll get a 6-pack of Budweiser heavies, like bottles.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good beer.
It's good. It's just 400 calories.
My favorite beer is Guinness. So
Yeah, you're chewing that.
I shouldn't say that. Boulevard Wheat's my favorite. Guinness is number 2. And then after that, I don't care.
Looking at the after effects of all of that, I just can't help but like hope that Michelob Ultra doesn't go and take a stance on something. Because if I drink beer, it's Mich Ultra, and I don't want to have to stop drinking that.
Another company
I can just
that,
make you some light beer. If
Can you
want at
guys
the house.
not take a stance on
I
something,
think
please?
another company did that it didn't work with their client base. I think Gillette did the same thing, but they really backtracked.
Oh, they caught it quick.
Yeah,
they caught it
because-
like the next week. They were like, "Oh,
Dude,
that was a PR."
What was that one?
They wanted everyone to return their razors?
I don't know. It was some sort of thing like in support of like trans or like a man can be woman, sort of like that sort of like vibe to it.
Yeah, they
their
wanted
marketing.
Yeah, they wanted anyone that didn't support like to return their razor. I don't remember exactly, but literally the next week,
Yeah.
like they came out and they were like, "Nope, sorry."
Right.
Like I think Target's.
But when was the last time you saw a Gillette commercial?
I mean,
Yeah, true.
I think
been a long
Target's
time,
taking a
hasn't
hit, but just their client base is so much wider than Bud Light, where I think it's hurting them, good like for good reason. But they might hold on.
Well, Bud Light was like a
longer than
perfect
Bud Light.
storm because
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah, it was like
easy.
the end of it where
There's
everyone
not-
was at their wits' end.
Well, there's
Yeah.
not 15 Targets to choose from.
yeah.
But beer, it's really easy to just open the next door
Yeah.
and grab the next
Right.
beer. You know, so it's like it was a perfect storm
Well,
for them. It's
and-
really easy to just not buy that.
And with microbreweries being so popular, there aren't micro targets.
That's what I mean.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, there's no. You're either going to Walmart or Target.
Yeah.
I mean, or you're spending 20% more at a bunch of other little stores.
I'm Amazon and Price Chopper now.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like
First
with
off-
that, you know.
Not being on Price Chopper, that was you.
I'm 100% Price Chopper now.
Okay.
We're a Price Chopper. That's probably the one thing we all agree on at the same time is Price Chopper. All 4 of us.
100%.
Yeah, that's on you. I don't know.
Yep.
I do
Literally, when we get done with this podcast, I got to go to Price Chopper and buy breakfast for the team tomorrow.
You know, it's weird. So like when where we used to grow up, when that Price Chopper went in, that's where we went all the time,
Yep.
right? And then when I got married, there was a Price Chopper like right down the road, and the Hy-Vee was a little further. And Jenny's like, "Well, Hy-Vee's a little cheaper," and I was like, "We're not going to Hy-Vee." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I know some Cosentinos that own that Price Chopper."
Right. Right.
And she's like, "Well, it costs another 20." I was like, "Who cares?"
Dude, I still don't completely understand the layout of the grocery store, but now it's like, I'm just going to figure it out. Right?
We've actually saved lots of money. I feel like there's a lot
It's
more
cheaper.
stuff on
Yeah.
on sale.
If you shop their sales, it's cheaper still.
I don't even shop the sales.
Me
Like,
neither.
I mean, I'm not going to wait for the
Their
time
meat
to go.
counters this shit too.
Well,
I'm not
I
going
mean,
to wait for the time to go buy something.
we
Like, if I
gotta-
need my chicken or I need my rice or I need my breakfast stuff, I'm just going to go in and get it when I need it.
We bulk buy.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Well, Hy-Vee,
I
they'll
can't
put
think that far
random
ahead.
Like Hy-Vee, they'll put like the random, come get our organic 10-pack bagel blueberries.
Yeah.
You know, muffins in
Yeah.
the very back. I'm just like, who eats that? You know.
It's nice that you're right by that Price Chopper
Dude,
too.
I don't have to wait
It's
at a
like
stoplight.
right there.
I could be there, get fresh produce, come back and be cooking
Yeah.
and like, you know.
Do you get the Papa Murphy's that's right there?
We haven't yet. No.
Dude, I love Papa Murphy's.
We've been making our own pizza.
You ever heard the story about how Papa Murphy's blew up?
No, but I love it.
There's some
Dude,
great,
it's really good.
Yeah,
there's some
it is.
great
It's really
business
good.
knowledge here. So, Papa Murphy's, right? Take and bake pizza.
Yeah, they make it. You take it home. You make it. It's fresh. You pull it out. It's hot every time. Delicious.
Domino's, Little Caesars, and Pizza Hut already dominated the pizza market, right? How did Papa Murphy's come on scene?
I don't know.
Well,
It's take and bake pizza. So how they came on scene was they found a loophole in the food stamp laws where food stamps were not allowed to be used for already cooked foods.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm 100%
Genius.
serious. So
Who the
Papa
fuck thought of
Murphy's...
that? Whoever was in their marketing department better be CFO
Papa
right
Murphy's
now.
found out that if they can make the pizza and you cook it at home, you can actually buy it with food stamps. And so they opened themselves to a whole new market that Little Caesars, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, all of those guys couldn't even touch. And that's how Papa Murphy's blew up across America.
And it was literally instantly. It
yes,
was like
overnight.
It was like within a month. It was
Yeah.
like holy
Well,
shit, they're everywhere.
freaking amazing.
And like, you know how hard it is to like when you
do
have
we
like
think of
that? I know.
friends coming over to get pizza and like it be arriving on time with everybody. It's always like you order in pizza and you have like, oh, we're 20 minutes out. So just like
Yep.
trying to time the pizza delivery with people coming over,
Yep.
where you
Yep.
just wait till everyone gets there and then you order pizza.
Now, with that said, I don't like Papa Murphy's pizza.
I
You
love
don't?
it.
I love it. It's
I
good.
never cook it right. And like my mom never cooks it right. My mom always overcooks it. And no offense to my mom, like
Your
it's
mom's
hard.
not- your mom's not a great cook either.
It's don't say that. It's
I
it's
love
hard.
your mother.
It's hard to cook something that you've never cooked before, right? So you go to Papa Murphy's Pizza and they're like $3.75 for 20 minutes or whatever, and
Nah,
it's like
it's $4.20.
I mean,
It's-
who knows what it is, right?
Well, they
It's-
give you instructions on the thing. It tells
I mean,
you which rack to put it on.
But every oven's different, every rack's different, every temperature gauge is a little bit
I'm going to
different.
tell you right now. I don't.
Top element, bottom
do you have
element.
a glass screen on your oven?
I do.
That helps a lot. When
Yeah, you got to look at it.
But
dude.
I'm just saying, I've never had a Papa Murphy's pizza that tasted as good as some nasty ass like, Papa John's or Little Caesars or Pizza Hut or Domino's pizza.
First
we
off-
start off our like agreeing on Price Chopper. Now we're
Man,
going.
we're about to take it. First off, the best motherfucking pizza in Blue Springs is Pizza Shop.
Really?
That's it. Number two.
I'm gonna go toss up between Pizza Shop and Minsky's.
Number two is Minsky's.
Yeah.
The
You get
rest
the
of
you
them?
get the Minsky's Joe's KC barbecue pizza.
First
Oh
off-
my goodness.
First off, barbecue pizza sucks. That's not pizza. Okay.
I like the Casey's
That's not
breakfast
fucking pizza, Mitch.
it's good.
Third is
know if it's-
Casey's Taco
They're
Pizza.
their breakfast
Oh,
pizza.
dude, yeah.
Third is Casey's Taco Pizza.
Yeah,
And then the
4,000
rest of-
calories a slice,
and then
but
the
it's
rest
worth
of-
it.
And then the rest of them can fight for fourth. I don't care.
I don't know what Casey's puts in it, but that is a hangover cure.
It's cocaine. They sprinkle a little cocaine on there. You eat
Yeah.
that, you feel amazing.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
Like,
if,
man, I
if
feel
you're not in a
great
part of the
right now.
nation where you have Casey's, if you're ever in a part of the nation where you do have a Casey's,
And you're
you
hungover-
owe it to yourself to go get a taco pizza or
or breakfast.
maybe a breakfast. Yeah,
Yeah.
taco or breakfast pizza. Those are your two
There's
anchors.
sausage breakfast, which really is just a sausage pizza. Like if you're like Mitch was saying, if you're hungover, like the grease in that thing, like you eat it, it coats your stomach.
It's like it dissolves alcohol.
Yeah,
it's the
it
weirdest
coats
thing
your,
ever.
It coats your stomach, so you feel better instantly. You
Yeah.
drink some water. You have a Red Bull.
So if
It's like you're 25 again.
for all those people living a double life, if you go out on Saturday and you get a little too much fun, all you got to do is snag a couple of slices of Casey's breakfast pizza on Sunday morning about an hour before church, and you're fooling everybody.
Well, the caveat with Casey's is the crappy restrooms. Like you're gonna go in there, the employees arguing amongst each other, or who's like, I don't want to do the register this
Yeah,
morning, and Sally Sue was late again, 3
The
hours.
toilet
and-
seats half falling
That's what
off.
makes them so good, man. That pizza's so fucking
So like
good.
I can go to Quadrup and be in and out in like a second, or I can go to Casey's and get great pizza, but then I can't use the restroom. Sally Sue's mad because
I'm not going to Casey's for the restroom.
First off, I love going to Casey's because Sally Sue's pissed. Like when I go in there, it gives me the feeling of
like a fight's gonna happen.
No, it gives me the feeling of like small town.
Yeah.
So
You know what I mean? Like-
I have a firm suspicion that like the Old Town Diner, when that place closed, all of those employees went to work at Casey's.
Fucking A, they did. And first off, the best Old Town Diner, I mean, those are the best places to eat.
Yeah.
Like Odessa has one on
Yep.
their main strip. PT's in
PT's in Oak Grove.
If you haven't been there yet, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Dude.
Hey, you know Casey's motto is "here to stay." I mean, like that's weird. You have to put yours as your motto. Like we're here to stay, everybody.
They've been there a long time, and their pizza is delicious.
Yeah.
Cheapest gas in
They're
town.
really a pizza place that
I try not to fill my truck with their gas.
Yeah, I mean, it's half water, but it's still as cheap as gas in town.
Sometimes if I have no choice, I will get their gas, but I'm really there for the alcohol and the pizza.
Right. Well, I think we've rambled long enough on this show. So, guys, if this show taught you something, if it added value, if you agree with half the shit we said on here about anonymous posts or being careful with coaching or
Just listen to
anything,
next week,
share it
please.
anonymously.
yeah, share this anonymously with your friends so you can lose all respect of your friends. So, and I'm kidding, by the way. Until next time, guys, we will see you later.
See ya.